Preemptively pack your bags, Pretty and Pride listeners, because this week Ken and I are diving headfirst into travel talk, from itineraries that are already locked in to plans that haven't made it out of our group chat. Nothing is off the table, including random detours in our conversation. Thanks for tuning in.
Get up out this jungle, niggas killing just to eat. Them lies ain't playing fair, so it's been getting I don't give my heart away. This shit hurt me every day. I get on my knees and pray.
Hey. Welcome back, Pretty and Pride listeners. I'm your host, Kiki. And I'm your host, Ken. And, today I think starts off with some very, just an update that we're sad, perhaps, to report. But we've lost our producer. Ultimately we just had to part ways. Know your worth, King, I guess. So we're bringing it back in-house, full control. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this evolves with our full creative control. Yes. What I can tell you thus far in the transition period that we've been in for this past week, I've noticed no change. This is our first day recording, sans producer though, so we'll see. No off-camera commentary. Yeah, no interjections, no corrections, no fact-checking. Just actuallys. So, actually that we could suffer. But to be seen. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting because I'm excited actually to get into more of the logistical elements that I wasn't doing, so. It'll also be interesting because our podcast is run under a parent company brand. Yeah. And our producer is still linked to that brand. So we'll see, or ex-producer. Yes. So we'll see how the interworkings of the company dynamics play out in this change. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. R.I.P. End of an era, but watch it just fucking explode. It's like, actually, you were the anchor. Cut the chains that are holding us back. No, just kidding. We wish him all the best in their future endeavors. I'll degender them. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors, and we'll, see them around maybe. The door might still be open if they're willing to take a pay cut, because you have to come crawling back for forgiveness to me. So, yeah. The odd, interesting facet of the dynamic was that it was news that was relayed to me that I then relayed to you, because if anyone's been following us, they know that the producer is my husband. Yeah. And it's so funny because I'm like, I didn't address it at all. No, neither of you addressed it. I'm like, okay, you said it. And I was like, okay, so even though I see this man regularly, this person regularly, I've not said anything to them. Nor have they. They have not brought it up at all to you. Wow, they just were really letting you manage. Yeah. Manage that. And you did a great job. Bang up job. Thanks. You're ready to expand your role. You're my new elite employee. You've been promoted. Thank the gods. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely, it'll be, I think, a new chapter for us. It's a new chapter. Very well. Yeah. So we were talking before we started recording. This is so boring, but I'm going to talk about it because it's the weekend. It's Saturday. And every Saturday I wake up and I think, God, I need a Starbucks. But instead, what I have to do for the next hour is get my dog settled. So I have to wake up, get them their water, get them walked, get them fed. Beano requires supervision when he eats and a lot of encouragement. Like, okay.
The dog eats insane because he goes to his bowl, grabs kibble, removes it from the bowl, a kibble at a time, takes it 6 inches away from his bowl to then slowly process and chew it.
Yeah.
And just repeats that for the entirety of his feeding session.
And it's very annoying because I'm like, I want coffee so bad. Like, please hurry up. So this morning, I woke up late because we were out late. And I got them watered, walked, and then I put their food down. And Bean was being so annoying. I was like, I'm not standing here supervising you. And I was like, please just eat. And he's like, he just looks at me. And he's like, unsure. And so I just said, you know what, never mind. I picked his food up. I put it on the counter. I was like, I'm going to go get coffee. I'll deal with you later. So, so I got my coffee. Before I came over to record, I got us Starbucks again, which is like $30. Okay. I'm like that psycho in the drive-thru. And the same guy that helped me this morning helped me again. With my 30. Okay.
Here's one embarrassment I want to avoid. It is seeing the same person at a Starbucks for the same day.
You know, I was thinking of going to the other Starbucks, but it's on that main road. And the last time I was there, gardeners were outside. So it's already hard to order because it's on a main road.
Yes.
And then the gardeners were outside the speaker box. So I was like shouting. They're like, sorry, can you repeat that? And I was like, I wanted to just be like, I'll just pull around to the window. Because I don't want to shout, even though I do speak very loudly. And so when I thought about this, I'm like, dude, I just got Starbucks like 2 hours ago. I should go to a different one. But I was like, I'm not dealing with the yelling, so never mind. And I just decided to embarrass myself and go order $30 worth of coffee and food from the Starbucks again. So, but we're coffeeed up. It's pumpkin spice season. And I mean, they've released it. Is it the season yet? I don't know. I'm trying to bring fall in, as I told Ken yesterday.
You're soft launching
I'm
fall.
soft launching fall with my nail color. It's like a deeper purple. And it's a little shiny. So I'm like not quite full fall, but you know, soft launching it. And I'm doing the same with the pumpkin spice. I added I have those car scents from Bath & Body Works, and I put leaves in my car. So I was like, oh, and I have my...
This is a full launch of fall. This
my
is
fall,
not a soft launch.
My fall soaps.
No,
so
this is a
I haven't
full
started
launch.
wearing my sweaters yet, so it's still a soft launch, okay?
No, you transition from like a warm floral to soft launch to keep the summer and fall linkage. You've just straight jumped into cherry apple orchards.
I haven't put on a scarf yet. So I will say that every year, this happens to me seasonally, it's like after fall, I'm like, God, I need summer to come because it's spring, summer. I need to start wearing my summer shirts. Now I work remote, but I am on camera when I'm on meetings. And I show up looking beautiful. And so after 3 months of summer or whatever, I'm like, dude, these clothes are tired. Like I need fall to happen so I can start wearing all of my fall sweaters and stuff. And then that same cycle will happen halfway through the winter season. I'll be like, dude, my clothes are tired. I need spring so that I can have more shirts to wear at work. So I am excited to bust out the other half of my wardrobe. Okay.
Speaking of a soft launch of fall and pumpkin spice season, you and I have discussed a little bit of a day trip excursion because there's apparently a fall menu, special menu at Starbucks that contains a few little treats of interest to us. Now, you did research, you looked into this, and originally told me that this was at select locations for Starbucks that are called, what are they called? Reserve
locations. So as a big back, the reverse of this, I sent you a picture. I said fall's launching at Starbucks. They have this really cool new brioche looking thing. The day fall drops, I go to the Starbucks app, because again, I'm a big fatty, and I see that it's not there. So then I look into it and realize that these are at the reserve locations only.
Okay, and we've never heard of what a reserve location is. You look it up, you say, it's in Utah, which I suppose, you know, sure. Turns out it's actually on Utah Street in Seattle, which, I mean, is that a flagship Starbucks? Is that why it's a reserve?
Yeah.
So we are now debating whether to take a quick little excursion to have a brioche fall loaf to try this reserve menu.
It's honestly probably mid, but like we've been wanting to go to Seattle anyways.
Yes. So killing two birds with one stone. And also we just recently, we also soft launched the concept of day trips.
Yes.
So I like the idea of soft launch.
I love it. And where we're struggling is we want to fly first class, but it's so expensive for a day trip.
We're so
like,
expensive.
bro.
It doesn't make sense. So we'll, if it's something that we opt to do, we will bring you along. We will do this.
Yeah.
We told you all we would bring you along to Paris, which in some ways I think we did.
We got a lot of pictures. They're cute.
We got a lot of pictures. We brought you along, a journey. We described it, but we didn't show it as much. This, I think we would try and attempt to really capture the experience.
And we did fully intend to bring y'all along for Bonnaroo. And that's not our fault.
Yes, I was filming us setting up the outdoor canopy.
Honestly, we should post it found footage horror style.
But once the disaster struck, the camera was never brought out again.
No, and why would it? Who wants to see a comfort in?
Who wants to see the So
stupid.
Yeah. So
okay. I also have to say that the minute that I verbalized to the universe that I'm just not flying coach anymore, I have now.
Every flight we've looked at requires.
Every single trip I'm planning the rest of this year is okay, but first class is actually diabolically expensive. $2,000. I'm sorry.
Well, if it was cheap, everyone would fly it and then it wouldn't be exclusive.
Exactly. But not for these flights. It's just too much. It's too much. So I don't know. I got to figure it out. I'm maybe I just do coach one way, first class back or something. But I got to figure this out because the reason we've talked about this, that I didn't travel a lot before, is that I've always known that if I can't travel the way that I want to, then I just don't want to go. I'm not a hostel backpack through Europe kind of girl. I'm a Ritz-Carlton City Center kind of gal, but I haven't always had Ritz-Carlton City Center money. So I just never went. And I don't want to get back into that. If I can't afford to fly first to Seattle, I just won't go to Seattle. I don't want to get into that mindset, but it is kind of veering on that. So
yeah.
Anyways,
let's talk about the elephant in the room. You happen to be wearing a t-shirt.
I am wearing the infamous "We Don't Trust You" tour t-shirt. It is super cool, so I see why someone's a hater.
It is a very cool shirt. So I think in that spirit, I have brought my cute little toadstool mushroom and my chain chomp.
Okay, so now for our viewers that are watching, I think you can understand the difference between getting someone a shirt to a concert they didn't see and getting someone a tchotchke from a place they've never been. Because I feel like people travel all sorts of places and bring you back shot glasses from Paris and magnets and things like that.
Yeah.
But they don't bring you t-shirts from a show you didn't see.
Can you move? My dog is obsessed with this chain chomp that they've never seen or been as exposed to. It is a very, looking at it, the chain chomps in the game are black. This has got this really cool blue metallic sheen. I didn't even know that he got this. And you know what's fucked up now that in hindsight? I will take this. I will take this because the entire time we were there, very uncharacteristically of my husband, every time I picked something up that I thought was cute, he would say, "Oh, are you thinking of getting that for Kiki?" And I would say, "No."
You're such a bitch. No. I get back to you're a bad person.
I'm a bad person. I'm rotten from the inside. I didn't realize at the time that maybe there was a small level of vengeance, and it wasn't even your fault because I obviously would have gone to that concert with you if I was around to go.
Yeah.
But where was I? Mexico? Why didn't I go with you? You ended up taking my friend. You got the suite.
Yeah.
I'm fucking pissed about it, actually. I should have been the one to experience that.
Either way.
That's true. I mean, I've gotten you stuff. I went to Spain and I got you jewelry. So it's
just
not like I don't think about getting things.
I know, but what's really diabolical is that we love Mario so much, we talked about getting a matching Mario tattoo. Okay? And we were trying to decide what character.
I'm going to rectify this.
What we want. And then to come back from Mario World not an item in sight for me. It's just like insane.
I think this is different because this was from me eating at the Toadstool Cafe. This is not a trinket. This is just something that they give you when you get a bowl of tomato soup.
I'm saying no, because actually what's worse is that you're getting free stuff that's so cool. So I know they had stores galore of like, I mean, even a chain chomp.
I didn't get
a little one-up.
But I'm saying, like, I didn't even get anything other than my husband and I got a matching shirt of like Mario and Luigi, player 1, player 2, and I got a chain chomp because it happened to be like Halloween's coming up. Like so I didn't. These are his tchotchkes, so like I didn't even get tchotchkes. And now I know. And I'm going to go to a much cooler Universal because they have a Donkey Kong world, which, I mean, we weren't big Donkey Kong. We were much more Mario. Leave it.
It's fine, but Ken knows I keep a record of wrongs, and this is staying on there.
I need to get off of that record of wrongs.
Staying on, baby.
I can't be part of the airing all of your grievances.
Because me, I'll hold something for 20 years.
For real, bro.
You're like, remember that time?
Yep.
That's my favorite saying.
If I forget something, I know I can come to you and you will have a full-on recollection of that.
To people's benefit and their demise, because sometimes they won't remember that time. And I'll be like, remember that time that guy really embarrassed you and did X, Y, and Z? They're like, I do now. So, okay. We're looking forward to the rectification of this situation.
Yes. Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Hope it's really cool.
As you should.
Especially since you got 2 very cute babies. I'll see you patting around town with. They are so cute.
They're very cute. So cute. Okay, I have a question for you. Whatever happened to the Tennessee Board of Taxation?
No one ever got back to me. So I need to, I was like, maybe I should Google to see if maybe they're doing investigative journalism right now. Maybe they've just posted the story without any. So I was going to Google it, and then I'm going to post a review. Maybe I'll reach out to another news station.
I think you should do one of those long and boring TikToks that you hold at 2 times speed where you just explain the story too. Tag everyone.
Okay. There's so many ways to go about this.
These stories.
But as I mentioned, it's tiresome being a hater. And so it's like, I will get around to it. It took me 2 months to do this type up in the first place. But they will pay. That's guaranteed. So, yeah. We'll find out.
Okay.
TBD. She's busy. Maybe I run businesses. So, yeah.
Other than updating our listeners and viewers, what else has been going on in your week?
Like I said before, I feel like I totally forget what happened during the week. But I always reference my calendar. So I had a massage this week. I had a nail appointment. Yeah, I think that's actually it.
Okay.
she forgot. Busy and taking care of herself. So, and then we went to a show last night.
Yes.
And that was cool. But we were up very late. And I told you this morning that I feel almost hungover, even though I didn't drink. I was sitting, I got my Starbucks. I sat on my couch. I TikToked. When I got a wrap from some restaurant, got Starbucks again, and then I came over here. So it's been a busy day. But it's Labor Day weekend, and I'm really excited to have some rest and relaxation.
Oh, that's going to be nice for you. I also run businesses, so I don't get any rest. Unfortunately, this weekend. I get some, reprieves, but my Monday is actually going to be spent working, unfortunately.
I do have to do a lot of work for that volunteer role I do. Mind you, I've mentioned this before, I wanted to be elected for the glory of it all. Just a vanity title. Look at how cool I am. It's slave labor. I work so hard for free, and it is fulfilling. I'm really excited about the things that we're doing and we're launching, but oh my gosh. And now I have 2 volunteer direct reports. So now I'm managing a team and these programs. But it's cool. But I'm just I have to work on that this weekend. So, yeah. Great. Exciting stuff.
So you get it. Not the true Labor Day relaxation 3-day weekend.
I know. And my work is picking up after being a pretty slow year. And, yeah. Life's good. We have so much fun things happening. And I'm so excited for the rest of this year. So busy. We're planning my birthday trip.
Yep.
Which is going to be cool. So Japan's coming up. Mm-hmm. We're trying to squeeze in Seattle.
Gotta get that fall pastry.
I'm like so bummed a little bit. I know that we'll still have like November, but and like I know last year as soon as October hit, we were like, let's do cutesy October things, and it was still so hot, and we were wearing flannels. I was like, I'm dying picking pumpkins. I'm dying at the pumpkin patch. But I feel like I'm gonna miss out on doing that with you guys this year. Some.
Excuse me. I don't think so.
You guys are gone pretty much all the way through Halloween.
I know.
And like who am I
through
gonna go Halloween shopping with and like decorating with? And it's like so sad. So I can't even pretend to muse on costumes with someone that I'm never gonna wear because I work from home and I don't go out and I'm old, But it's always nice to think if I were young, cool, fun, and had friends that would go out with me on Halloween to non-bars, what would I be? I don't even get that.
I wish, it's interesting because it's like I also, in my adult life, have not done the costume experience and like also finding myself in a couple in adulthood. Like we've never done a couple's costume. We did one year. I won't tell anyone what it was.
You need to find friends that throw Halloween parties. That's the one time I was able to do like an outside, but like I used to go to an office and that helped too. Cause like we would do group costumes one every year. We were the reigning champs before COVID and we all left that workplace. But, I mean, we could throw a Halloween party, not this year, but in general, but it's like, we don't know that many people and our worlds don't collide that way. Like separately, we have, what do you have? 10 friends here?
Less
than 10 friends. I also have
less than 10 friends around the world.
I have less than 10 friends in the city we live in. So it's like, does not make for a good party. Let's just say that.
It's a different vibe for sure.
For sure. So, but I don't know. We do so many fun things as a family, but it'd be really weird to do a family costume contest.
Well, last year, I think we went to like an amusement park for like their Halloween things.
That was a ball and a half. And I'm so bummed we're not going to do that either. Like,
I know.
I want to do like Disney Christmas, but like we don't have time to get out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're doing Universal on October 30th in Tokyo, and we considered doing Universal on Halloween because for one night they do, unlike in California, which I think does it for like
the month or
whatnot, they are doing it for I think just that one night. So I was like, oh, that would be cool. But I was like, I don't want the first time I experience whatever Universal's thing to be like while I'm on this trip and now I got to get a fucking costume and carry it around for this one. I was like, no, that's insane. So we opted to go the day before Halloween, but it didn't even dawn on me that we were spending Halloween in Tokyo or in Japan. So that'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
This girl is currently obsessing over this chain chomp.
She's pretending to be sweet to you so she can get it.
Yeah, she gets it. She's like, I also
get
want
her one.
A chain chomp.
I feel like we should try to revisit this Mario tattoo idea because there's so many cool Mario characters. This is where we came up to an issue because we don't want like a Mario, a Peach, a Luigi, or a Waluigi or anything like that.
Waluigi.
Bowser, perhaps, but it's more so like an item, I guess, that we'd be looking for, like the power-up flower, the chain chomp, the mushroom, the star. They have the potted plants, the piranha plants. They have, I mean, there's just so many cool characters, the Koopa, like a Goomba. And so like, this is where we got into when we first tossed the idea of getting this tattoo. And it's like, it just has, it's such a vast, intricate world where we could do so many cool things. And I'm still open to it.
We already have a matching tattoo.
So
we could get another one.
Mario's just so cool.
I mean, originally we talked about doing this with one of our brothers who also was invited to the, shared sibling tattoo experience. But now I feel like, we would have to get that absent them because who knows when they would come around to that.
Exactly. But they could always, once it's on, you can always go get one. So,
But yeah, we already do have matching tattoos, but nothing's to say you can't get another one.
It's funny because I do feel like I would, like right now, I would be debating between either the fire flower or the
Mushroom head
power up.
Now, the thing about the power up is it looks like you're a druggie. I've just realized. So maybe not that. Unless you put like a one up. No, that still like you're a druggie maybe. So,
well, open to interpretation.
You got the bomb.
Oh yeah, and the bullet bill.
The bullet's cool.
Yeah.
There's so many cool things.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might get a Mario sleeve. Excuse you.
A Mario sleeve is insane.
She's a little gamer girl. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my week has been whatever.
Well, let me ask. How's your week been?
My week has been, honestly, it's been a lot of like whatever, because I had a lot of deadlines that I met last week, but I didn't get the break that one should feel when, I've met all these deadlines and now these projects are over, I get relief. Instead, it was like, all right, actually there's no rest, keep going. And that is why I wish Labor Day weekend would feel perfect to rest, but instead it's like, nope, you just got to keep going. You really don't you get a day off from work, but you don't get a day off from work,
Yeah.
So
just work towards this vacation. You'll have plenty of days off.
that's true. That did finally get approved.
Fantastic.
Which was nice. I put that in December of last year.
It's already booked, babes. So
and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, I wonder if I have to like mention that it still needs to be approved or what. I feel like I had already mentioned this, and then it got approved. I was like, great, perfect. So yeah, we're starting to book like tickets. I think we need to book the Tokyo tickets, the Disney and Disney Sea tickets.
what are you most excited about?
That's a really good question. I'm most excited for the business class flight there. We were talking about this where it's like some people, like my husband is someone who views a trip as, starting when you land. You and I are very much the same in that like the trip starts in when I begin packing for it. And like
when I begin shopping for it.
Conceptually for me, like that includes the transportation to wherever I'm going.
Correct.
Like,
it sets the tone.
It sets the tone. Like it determines whether or not I'm going to be more relaxed or whether I'm going to be more stressed. And, for me, flying business there is like setting the tone for like, this is, a trip that is going to be relaxing, enjoyable, leisurely, recreational. I don't have to worry about the bags situation. I don't have to worry about lines at the airport and things like that. So it's like, for me, I'm looking forward to that experience. It'll be my longest flight.
How long's the flight?
I want to say it's 11 to 12 hours.
Okay.
Because I think I mentioned we have to fly from Dallas. So it's nonstop, which is great. And so I feel like we'll get the experience of enjoying the Japanese meal that they'll serve on this airline, which will also set the tone for like, okay, we're diving into this culture. And then like we'll actually get to experience like resting before we arrive.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that was my complaint there's a whole debacle of like when I flew business for the first time in my life internationally, where we booked the flight, missed it, so then got bumped from business to premium economy because of how they had like the flights out of Chicago O'Hare were for that. And so we were so tired by the time we got there, and like we didn't get the business class experience we wanted. We only got that on the way back, and it was actually really underwhelming because I'm like, I first of all, I'm a big back foodie, so like even if it's airplane food, I need to try it.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I'm gonna eat it.
And honestly, I liked it. I like every airplane meal I've had on some level. Like
it's nice. It's a nice additive. I thought the JetBlue was amazing.
It was good.
Like it was really good. But like flying American back from London or Paris, it was like mid, honestly, but it was also the fact that like because the flight was only 7 hours, 8 hours, by the time they feed you leaving your departure, okay, you are waiting now for an hour and a half, 2 hours for them to reach elevation and do all the service and blah, 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 blah. Then you're like, all right, now it's time to rest. And then 2 hours before you land, they're like, all right, it's your next meal. And so you actually don't get a lot of rest. Whereas I feel like in a long trip like this, where it's 12 hours, it's like you can enjoy the meal, you can enjoy the rest. If you want a full 8 hours, you could probably get a full 8 hours, and then you can enjoy the, arrival meal as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And then second to that is I'm looking forward to, I kind of am really looking forward to the Osaka experience. Originally, I was like, that's actually the place I don't care about at all on this itinerary. We're doing Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and then we're gonna stop over in Hakone on our way back to Tokyo.
So cool.
And so I'm looking forward. I was like, we don't need to spend that much time in Osaka. There's really nothing there. It's like more of like a nightlife type of situation, I think, like food, drink, whatever. But that's where Universal is. And so I also feel like there's also a lot of good vintage shopping there. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. I think it'll be a nice reprieve. That's our first amusement park on this 3 amusement park trip now. And then I'm also looking forward to the traditional ryokan, which is like a Japanese style inn where they'll feed you. We're getting breakfast and dinner, and then you have like your own private onsen or like hot tub based out, open air bath type thing. Because I have tattoos, I can't go to traditional Japanese onsens. So had to get one in our own private room, basically. So I'm looking forward to that experience and just like kind of seeing what happens. I'm not planning this trip, believe it or not. My spouse is, and I say that reluctantly because it's like I've interjected at every possible opportunity. This all stemmed from the amount of times that we show up for the airport and I'm like, do you have your boarding pass? It's like this man just arrives at the airport and like with a bag in hand, hasn't checked into the flight, hasn't got their boarding pass. And there I am, like I've done all that work. And it's like the trust you must have to just like show up at an airport like that. And so I was like, you know what? I think this is really more his opportunity. I think there's a lot of things he probably wants to do. I'll let him plan this. And then I was like, well, where are we staying? What are we doing? How long are we going to be there? Blah, 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 blah. Thank God. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to kind of just showing up.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I feel like you've done a lot of different international trips. I love the way that you prioritize seeing the world. I also think it's cool that you guys are going for an extended amount of time. Like it is really cool. And it's really cool that you have, a supportive family that can take on the responsibilities.
The burden of my...
Because it's like, that's such a big deal and like why I'm so glad that we live in the same city also with one of our parents, because I feel like there are things that just, I mean, there's been times where, I forget what trip that was, but I came out here and I watched the dogs for you. But it's like, obviously the logistics are a lot easier as I'm going to a bunch of different places this summer for just a weekend. It's like, I have options. And even in that 3-week time frame, if something comes up, like I have a work trip I have to go on for a couple of days or something, not to say that is going, but if it does, then we have an extra support system. So it's like, or even if I'm like, dude, 3 weeks is a lot, I need a break, mom, tap in. Like, that we have that option. So yeah, I think that's really cool. How did you guys land on Japan for this trip?
So I've always wanted to travel, but financially it has always been a burden, to your point of like, I didn't want to travel and, either do it and not be able to enjoy it because I was so worried about like where we're paying everything off. That happened for our honeymoon where it was like, we're just putting travel on credit and then like, we're not really being able to do the things we want to, or we feel stressed doing the things we want to because they're like an additional expense. And so at some point we decided like, in order for us to really prioritize travel, we needed or wanted to like save the year ahead. So we started with I was going to Spain a couple of years ago with some girlfriends. And this was prior to the trip we had planned to go to London and Paris. And I was like, I wanted to see Paris with my husband first before I saw it like with my friends or anything like that. So basically what we decided was we're gonna make sure we save for our trips ahead of time, give ourselves a healthy enough budget so that we can do all the things we want to where we're going. And then we wanted to alternate between like a trip where you have to kind of plan like, okay, transportation between places and, you know, museums, tours, activities, versus the alternative, which is like I just show up and everything's there. So we ended up kind of conceptualizing that as like metropolitan versus like an all-inclusive beach resort, essentially. So our first year traveling, we did London and Paris. And then our second year traveling, we did an all-inclusive in Mexico. And then our third year this year was, you know, let's plan an extended. We only did 1 week in London and Paris, and we realized like that was not enough. Like it's so far to get to Europe.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to feel like I can see more, and there's so much more to see. So we landed on like, okay, if we do Japan, like we need to be there for at least 2 full weeks. And I think the idea was like not going back to Europe right away. Like we just went there. So like, let's go to a different metropolitan area. I think the yen also just being where it is, it was like, this seems like a good time. You know, you just never know what's going to be around. I would love to do like safari. And I feel like, you know, seeing, you know, Kenya or Tanzania would be really cool. I feel like that's also really expensive. It requires a little bit more planning. So that's ultimately how we landed on Japan. We were debating the 2-week trips that we were originally debating was like a food tour around Italy or, you know, figuring out Japan and going to
I like that.
An East Asian country. And I feel like Japan is the good entry point before we get into countries like Thailand or Vietnam and China. Just different logistical pieces to that. So, you know, it's going to be a culture shock.
I also really loved about our Paris trip is that like we approached it with the idea of like we don't have to do everything in that week because like you do feel like, especially if you don't travel a lot, like I haven't, like I'm in Europe, let me try to squeeze everything in I can while I'm on this continent. And that to me is like operating a little bit from a place of lack. And like I loved how we did Paris of like, we'll be back to Paris type thing. Like so many people are like, did you go to the Eiffel Tower? I'm like, no, I saw it. I saw it in plenty of ways. I didn't need to go to it, but like I will be able to go back because I, as you know, believe that we are going to be extremely successful, even more so than we already are, and we'll be able to see so much of the world. But like, it is just really, really cool seeing different parts of the world. And I do also agree that like saving like the business class flights really, really make a difference. I did have to fly coach internationally in between, I think it was the Philippines and Singapore. And then I got back on to business from Singapore back to India.
How long is that flight between Singapore and Philippines?
4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
And as most people say, the international coach experience is better than the domestic coach experience. So sure, you know,
whatever you need to tell yourself.
You know, they did give us a meal, you know, like, but as soon as I was like, they have one seat available to upgrade, I asked my boss, I was like, you know, I'm 5'10". I'm on this 2.5 week trip. Can I upgrade? Can I take this upgrade? But it just makes all the difference. Also, I will say going to India on both of my flights, I feel like every time I woke up, there was food. I'm like, dude, I'm getting fat AF because you're just like sleeping and you wake up and you got a meal. You're like, oh, God. Down a steak and then like go back to bed. But it just really does set the tone of like, this is luxurious. This is relaxing. This is a reward. This is a treat. You know, my husband and I work really hard. You know, we're really exhausted a lot of the times. And so it's like, this is our opportunity to kind of like enjoy the fruits of our labor in a lot of ways. So it's like, okay,
in his mind, he's probably, in his mind, I think he likes to think that like he'd be fine in premium economy or economy. And it's like, I just fucking know that he would not at all. So instead he makes me the bad guy who's like wasting some of the budget on these expensive tickets. So
well, then get back there.
Yeah.
Ain't no one stopping you.
We are fortunate that like I'm starting to play the game of like figuring out like how do we make this happen without eating up the entire budget that we have for travel. And like to everyone's point, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, and I would agree, spend money on experiences versus, just the transportation over there. But for me, it's like, if I'm freaking out over, like, this is how I am as a traveler. Like, I need to have access to my power cords, all of my comforts, like my, my iPad, my, being able to not feel cramped and like, I'm tall, I'm also big, like I'm security heavy, like,
you look like you can protect the building.
So it's like, I don't want to be trapped for 10 hours and like feel like I'm having to annoy everyone around me because I need to go up into the upper cabin yet again to get my carry-on bag because I need to get this thing out of there. So I just, I would prefer to just travel and feel like a lot more relaxed and at peace than to feel the opposite of that.
Well, and also that is an experience, traveling, like, and it's a great experience. And I feel like it is like, I don't know how to, I know a lot of people that travel much more than I do. And they're like, it's too much money, even though they could more than afford it, but they'd rather save. But I'm like, I personally like to be, I mean, when we showed up in Paris and the hotel wasn't ready, like I was still well rested enough through that flight and fed and feeling like, okay, and as we said multiple times, and I'll never forget it, being so sad that like the days were dwindling in Paris. Each day we got closer to leaving. I was like, well, at least we're flying back business. Yeah. Like it's something to hold on to. I also find it funny that last night when we were talking about travel and how expensive it was going to be to travel the way that we wanted to when we take my birthday trip, your spouse was quick to say that wasn't that bad and that he did agree with the first class experience. So,
Because, at the end of the day, it's like he doesn't want to admit it, but it's like, of course, everyone wants to be, in
bougie, like,
an elevated experience.
I'll still never forget where were we going? I think we were going to Disneyland for one of our siblings' birthdays. Or maybe it was day in Vegas and we were doing something and maybe buying something and your husband goes, well, I want to surf looks too. And that was the moment that I knew. I'm like, yeah.
You want to be on this vibe, on this fucking frequency wave with us. Because
and he gets it. And this kind of, and like maybe it's been built up because like, I mean, honestly, if you're going to be around us, you just naturally have to get it. Like my friend that went with us to the Halloween experience last year, it's like, she gets it, but I already knew she got it because we were raised very similarly in certain ways, in how we view luxury as an importance in our life. But like, we all could develop very quickly in the matter of an hour, like the same language of how we approach things. And like your husband has done the same throughout the years of like, he just gets it, which is why as I dip my toe into the dating pool, I'm very like, it's always top of my mind, not just if someone will get it, but if I will care to train them to get it. Because it's like, we already have such a good vibe with the things that we choose to do and who we choose to do it with, that like, I'm sure someone coming into that would be more than fine. They could hold their own, whatever. But it's like,
I don't want to have to be conscious of you.
I don't want to have to be conscious of you. Like, are you going to understand that when we go to Disneyland Paris, we're going to get shirts, we're going to get ears, we're going to dress the part, we're going to pay an exorbitant amount for these bags that look like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen bags
that we're
from
never
a movie 25 years old, okay? Same color, even though we'll never wear those bags again. But that is a worthy expense because what we're doing is setting a vibe. And like, I already can just tell sometimes people don't, and that's why many podcasts ago I talked about some of the most important things in my life, looking for a partner, is understanding of discipline and luxury. Because I am not going to be one of those people that's like, but if we're going over and we could save money if we fly coach. we're done. Like, divorce. So, anyways.
Obviously, we know that there's the practical element of like, I'm not going to spend a stupid amount. Like,
Correct.
The flights that we got for points, like however much those would have cost in cash, I would not spend that.
Right.
Like, I just wouldn't do that. But at the same time, like, I'm always going to start there and see if I can make that happen.
Yes.
And if I feel like the practical aspect outweighs the reality of that, then I will go with the more practical option. But I'm starting there. I'm not
100%.
starting.
I'm not starting at Coach.
No.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
And I'm going to try and make business happen. Okay. And I did. So it was really funny because when so getting to your point of like, when we were traveling to Paris, it was like the mentality of, this is not the first and last time. This is my second time in Paris, and I did all brand new things. And I was able to go with the flow because this is not the last time I'm going to be here, and it's not the last time we're going to be there. So we didn't plan every meal. We weren't making reservations. My husband and I approached Paris a little differently, where I feel like we didn't get a lot of the experience I think we would have wanted, considering the short amount of time we had. And that, made us feel cheated overall. But like, we had more time there, and so we could take a more relaxed approach. I feel like I brought that to this Japan trip as well. So like, the ways in which I'm able to kind of let go of some of the, like, I don't need to do everything I want to do. Because in my ideal world, I would want to go to every prefecture that they play in the movie in the show series Haikyuu. And I'd want to just travel around them. Like, they're probably really boring neighborhoods, but I'm just like, those are the dorky things I'd want to do. I'd probably focus more on my love of anime and manga, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to vibe, check out some shrines, check out some sites, and I'll go back when I'm ready to go back.
Yeah.
And then on the way, the other thing too is like, we've talked about this. What got me through walking through Versailles, we're in fucking
so tired.
75,000
Those
steps.
rocks, I felt through every step of my low top Nikes. Like, they were not cushiony enough.
I'm like, so exhausting. Like, the way in which I am justifying the business class flight back from Tokyo is that, like, we'll have been to 3 amusement parks on this trip. Not to mention the Nintendo Museum, the multiple, hikes and shrines, and like just general walking that we'll be doing throughout this. I mean, everyone says it's like 15,000 steps, 25,000 steps, like 30,000 steps a day. So not to mention that, but what's been getting me through all of the future walking I know I'm going to be doing is knowing, like, okay, but at the end of all this, you get to be in business class.
Kicking your legs up.
Putting your feet up. Like, just fucking relaxing, okay? And that is what I'm going to be thinking about as I climb the mountains and climb the steps.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm also planning to try and vlog that experience. So maybe we can, we'll think about, like, you mentioned the media company that this podcast operates under. So maybe I'll play around with, as a side venture, to the media company, a little vlog experience of that trip.
Have you thought about how you're going to survive not being able to talk to me every day?
Well, I don't know why you would think that wouldn't happen. First of all, you wake up at the ass crack of dawn, so I'm sure the time zones will align completely perfectly and fine. The second thing is I have tasked my husband with getting us SIM cards so that we have data internationally. So I actually see no issue with that. I haven't even thought about that at all. It's not even been a thought in my mind.
Because when you went on your trip to wherever a few weeks ago, we didn't really talk at all that time, which was obviously fine, but it feels weird.
Weeks ago? Oh my God.
Does it feel weird for you? Probably not, because you're traveling.
Does it feel weird for me to not talk to you? No, because I would say when I went to Spain, I'll never forget that it was like the middle of the day, and I was like, it's 4 a.m. back in the States. But I really need your opinion on these earrings that I was going to buy you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I know she's up. And I fucking FaceTimed you.
I think you told your friends and they're like, is she gonna be awake?
I FaceTimed you. You were awake on the treadmill. Like you were at the gym. Like, hey, what's up? It's just like, what do you think of these earrings? So it's like, I know that like, it's not that I don't talk to you every day. I talk to you very frequently.
Yeah.
And obviously we communicate via text and whatnot. So I'm not concerned about that at all. I know that when it comes time for me to figure out
Throw that signal waves.
Yeah, like you're going to be available.
For sure.
It's just...
I remember that FaceTime. You're like, I literally was just telling my friends I was going to FaceTime you. They're like, is she even going to be awake right now? And here you are at the gym.
At the gym.
Fully working out.
Not even just like awake. Just full face. Like just ready for the day. Still dark outside. That's who you are.
It is who I am. Well, I'm excited. We have travel coming up also next year. I'm really excited about the UK, about our domestic travel. I love how spoiled we are that we are like, I want to try this brioche, so maybe I just jet on over to Seattle, whether it happens or not. That's just like, again, like things in my life that you think will happen, but now you're seeing them actually happen. I had a very similar feeling before I moved here, and I was walking out of the gym one morning, and I was like, I'm living the version of my life and a version of myself that I always wanted to be, but I never was. Like, you know, in college, you think I would be a gym girly, but I was not. And then like, you know, eventually you become what you've always wanted, and that's really cool. So I also feel like I want to go to Sweden. I have a friend that lives there. I was like, maybe I'll look into that.
I would love to go.
Let's bump back. But yeah, that'd be cool. So it'll be hard to figure all that out. So
I feel like every episode we talk about like these trips and these things and blah, 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 blah. And like, I think a part of that context is not like that we're just sitting around being like, let's just tell everyone of all of the amazing
cool
trips we're
shit
taking.
we do, yeah.
It's like this is our first time living in the same city together. So we do get to actually start traveling more together. And I think the other thing too is like, you know, we were bombing Iran not too long ago. Like, you know, there's a lot of shit happening that like contextually it's like we are not guaranteed anything is going to be around in the same way. So it's like, you know, yeah, I've been talking about wanting to see Seattle at one point way back. I don't even know if you remember that. Like, Dad was like, let's take a trip to Seattle, and I booked a hotel, and then I put it on. There was a whole.
Oh, I remember the fallout from it. Yeah.
Fiasco around Seattle. So and that was when I still lived in California at one point. I mean, so that was like 20 years ago. So for 20 years, I've been talking about going to Seattle, and it's like at some point you just got to put some beads on a string.
Start doing it. Yeah, exactly. And rewrite the history, like going back to Disney World and not talking about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I also feel like contextually, like Paris was my first adult international trip not relating to work, and before that, India was my first adult trip, and I got it international. Well, I mean, Costa Rica. When we were younger.
Yeah.
So it's sounding a little more spoiled, but what I'm saying is that we didn't get to travel a lot when we were kids. We did one international trip at one point in our lives for like the entire time. Like, and I went to India when I was 33 for the first time. So it's like I never got to see the world. India was my first time seeing the world, and I went to India and the Philippines, and then we went to Paris. So it's like now we're at a position where traveling in general, but traveling with the way that we want to travel is tangible. And so it's not like we're, you know, like we, you know, anyways, not that we have to explain it, but it's not like we're just sitting around like so spoiled, like all we do is travel and traipse around. Like we work really hard, and we're finally at a place in our life where like we can do these things. I've been talking about, I mean, first of all, we speak French. So it's like, how long have we been talking about going to Paris? As long as it takes to start speaking French, you know? So, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I've been wanting to have the sister trip. And this is the thing. In my mind, it's like, I want us to go on a mother-daughter trip. Okay, so we've got to make that happen. I've been wanting us to go on a sister's trip. Now, 25-year-old Ken could not do those things. At least not in the way that, like, felt possible for everyone I wanted in those, you know, journeys. So now we're a little bit older. We're being a little bit wiser.
Yeah.
We're trying to make things happen that we've probably had, at least for me, I've had on like my bucket list of things I wanted to do. And it's just kind of happening that everyone lives in the same place. everything can kind of happen,
Yeah.
and it's a lot less logistically of a nightmare to do those, and I want to make them happen as fast and as much as possible.
No, I'm like trying to heal our inner
exciting.
child and make our dreams come true. And like, I feel the same way about getting that Elwood style MacBook. I'm not forgetting it. Like, I want.
Girl, you need a decal. Like, you need a computer decal.
I'm happy with that. I mean, I obviously don't want the old Mac OS. Like, what am I going to do with that? Slam my head against a wall, you know? But
I feel like if we, as a culture, are just bringing things back,
It'll
I feel
come
like,
back.
yeah, Mac is definitely going to
I
have
can't
a
believe they
special
haven't
release
done
of
it
this
already.
fucking thing.
First of all, millennials are some of the
They're
most
bringing back
spoiled
flip
generations.
phones, for Christ's sake.
I know. And like, I mean, we've bullied them into bringing back our favorite TV shows, our favorite things. So like, I know it's only a matter of time that we vibe off of nostalgia to a certain extent. Okay, let's not go too far back in history, you know? So, you know, to a certain extent.
Within reason.
Within reason. Reasonable nostalgia where everyone still has their freedoms. And so...
Yeah. 2012 would be great.
That would be the time.
It's funny.
Honestly, even last summer. Like, shit. Let me get back to there.
I can't believe it's only been a year.
Not even.
Just diabolical.
So horrible.
All right.
Well, do you have any weekly ins and outs?
Of course.
Okay.
I think, as anyone can guess, my weekly in is this Cardi B trial.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We
So funny.
have been sharing clips back and forth on TikTok. Like, first of all, I forget because so much of Cardi B's recent lore has been centered around the ridiculousness of her at Offset in some ways. But like, Cardi B is objectively a hilarious
She's
person.
hilarious.
She is just so funny. And so this trial is really setting it off. My favorite moment thus far was, you know, her being like, I looked at her, like, what are you talking?
I gave her an ocular pat down.
And it's so funny because I've served on a jury, and so I know that in courtrooms, at least in like civil courtrooms, it's like in any courtroom, as a witness, you have to actually say words because they have to transcribe them for like the court reporting and whatnot. And so her pointing to her eyes, just like, and gesturing is hilarious to us who are seeing it, but it's like, I'm not hearing the judge reprimand her to be like, you need to respond with words. And it's like, how do you, so it's just really funny. I'm living for it. I'm having a great time. I had fallen into some old YSL clips so I feel like this is prime. I'm in my hilarious, black people are hilarious, courtrooms are funny. Just so good. She called that lady security heavy. I've never seen this woman.
I need to see her. She looks like she can protect a building.
She's more developed. Cardi B is so funny to me.
So funny. In for me this week, no one's surprised either.
I know. I already know what's about to come out of your mouth.
What do you think?
It's
You don't know.
Oh, it's not Nicolandria?
No. See, you don't know me. I know you. You don't know me. It's Indian food. We went to Indian food last night, and let me tell you, we were going to a show afterwards, and we were security heavy because of how much we ate. And we were like softening it up with the biscuit. It was so freaking good. I'm like, I just can't get over the flavors, the naan, the chicken korma, the butter chicken, the biryani, like everything slaps. And people, I feel like this happens when we go out sometimes, they have to double check because they're like, she came back, she's like, you said 2 garlic naan? Because we got 2 garlic naan, 1 onion, and 1 cheese. And I know, she's like, I know they didn't order 4 naan for 3 people. Please go check with them. We did order 4 naan for 3 people.
I felt so bad because we wasted so much food.
You gotta let go of the guilt of that. That's why we have obese people in this country, because people think they need to finish their plate.
I don't feel bad for not consuming it. I feel bad for not taking it home. Like, normally I don't mind stopping and eating because I can take the leftovers, and Indian is great leftovers. But because we were going to a show, it felt more wasteful than normally when I maybe over order food and I'm taking some of it home. It felt different. So, because I think about the chef who's like, oh, they didn't like it, or
they didn't like it, but our bowls were licked clean, so I think that they're fine,
So I was explaining my life and having to explain to the waiter. We're going to a show, so we can't take this with us, but it was really good because I feel like the chef is a woman. I feel like I saw the chef was a woman, which
Yeah.
You know.
What's out for you this week? A lot of things that I think we should leave unsaid. I think we should leave them unsaid.
Out for me this week, yeah. I think what's out for me this week is the current conundrum that we're facing where I want luxury to be less accessible to others, but fully accessible to me.
That is so true. That is so true.
Like I need it to remain exclusive.
Right. But affordable.
But I need it to be affordable to
my
me.
budget. Right. Because like if I go and fast pass, I don't want everyone to be able to afford a fast pass, right?
No.
But I want to be able to afford the fast pass.
Yes.
So what are we going to do here?
Yeah, it's like, I guess, push comes to shove, I need to double what I make in life.
Work harder.
Yeah, essentially, because I don't see them looking at prices and being like, actually, this is getting a little out of hand, guys. We need to rein it in. No, I just think that they're going to double down.
They're just going to keep double down.
Everything is. And so I guess I just need to meet demand where supply is.
Shoot, capitalism, man.
Fucking hate it.
Lame. I would totally agree with that. And I also think it's interesting because, like, in hindsight, like, when I went out to a day trip last week, people were looking at me funny. They were kind of like, in a good way, but like, you just flew in for the day. And I'm like, yeah. You don't do that? Mind you, it's my second day trip. But like, and even so, that's why I'm doing this, is to make it smaller so that you can be there for people's important events. And I was thinking about it, I was like, I really, appreciate that I can do those things because it is those times where you show up for people in small moments in big ways, or ways they consider big, that I think solidify a lot of relationships for me, right? Like, because I'm not the most emotionally available, as you know. I don't show up sometimes in the ways that I think resonates with a lot of people, but I can show up in my distinct ways. And I think that's where I have been able to develop such strong friendships with people, because I lack in some ways and I excel in others. As a Capricorn, that way is through hard work and money. So what I can do is I can work hard for you and I can spend to be there for you. You can call me crying, but I'm not a comfort to a lot of people. And so I'm really happy that I went. This is a friend that I love dearly, and I haven't seen her since 2023 when we went to Taylor Swift together. And I feel like it's because even though she's like, I could go out there, I get so wrapped up in my time and my busyness and my schedule, and now I have to spend money to go. And it's like being able to do something like just go for her housewarming, like makes, one, I missed her dearly, and it was like so great to see her in that environment, but like, and celebrate her, but like, lets her know that she is important to me outside of my words, right? Like, she sent me this text message, like, I'm sure you can't come, but I just want you to know that I'm throwing this. And I was like, booked a ticket, sent her a screenshot. And so I'm just so happy I got a chance to see her and do that. And I'm happy that the work that I've put in life to be able to do those things is paying off. So
I think that also gets to, like, the idea that things feel inaccessible and therefore, like, I'm not going to do them, make them accessible. Like, I haven't been to Seattle because to me, Seattle feels like I need to go and I need to plan a whole trip and I have to do a bunch of stuff. I can't just go to the city and go to a Starbucks and get a pastry and come home. Because that sounds insane to most people. But instead, what's happened is like, I've spent 20 years never
wanting
to
go to Seattle. Exactly.
And so how do I make it accessible to me? And maybe that looks different than, okay, I've got to figure out where I'm staying. I got to figure out what I'm doing. And now, like, instead of it being what I might have done when I was 21 and could afford that, it's, what can I do tangibly now? And it's a little bit smaller and it's a little bit different.
Totally.
And And
love that.
Yet I get to still cross it off of the list.
Such a good perspective. And we could go back. So,
yeah.
Cool.
I think that before we end today's episode, I think we should just figure out, maybe like soft launch. Let's soft launch the concept that we have been pretty regularly recording, outputting, filming, potting.
Yeah, I think this is going to be episode 24.
This is episode 24. We've been doing a pretty good job of releasing every week with the occasional miss when, one of us is out of town and we're not able to record. And so one of the things that you and I have been talking about is with the holidays upcoming, figuring out a schedule to allow us to take a break and kind of figure out like what season 2 could look like for us. So we'll be in the background, behind the scenes, figuring out what this is going to look like in terms of, maybe up to episode 30, take a break, maybe do a couple of holiday special episodes, test out the vlog experience when I'm in Japan, and then come back in 2026. And who knows, hit the ground running, phase 2,
for sure,
see what's up. So,
and I think, I agree. You're also going to be in Japan for 3 weeks, so we're dead in the water.
Yeah.
So leading up to that, I think we want to record as many episodes as we can. And then the holiday special episode. So in our family, we set this kind of, I guess, tradition of this year 2 coming up, where I do Thanksgiving and Ken does Christmas. And so I think we want to, at Thanksgiving, take you through, also I love, this is another reason I'm so sad that you guys are going to be gone, is that I love to bake come fall. I'm like pumpkin bread, zucchini bread, whatever I can find a recipe for. I love to snickerdoodles, and I like to bake, eat one cookie, and then drop them off at your house because I'm going to back it up. So I think I want to do some Thanksgiving prep videos because we're gonna make. Last year was insane. It was insane. We had 17 sides. There was only 4 of us, and then we'll do a bûche de Noël for Christmas, which we did last year, and we'll do another one this year. So some of that fun stuff where we kind of just get together, watch all of the Bob's Burgers Thanksgiving episodes while I cook my meal. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the holidays. I just love the holiday season.
Me too.
Much like summer, I find that the hope of it in your head is. The execution of that leaves a lot to be desired every single year, but I still look forward to it every year, So I'm really excited.
Same. And so I think this is a good opportunity to kind of show different facets of us and explore what we like doing under the media conglomerate that we're building.
We're a small fish in a big pond in this conglomerate. We're lonely in that pond. We're the only fish. But yes, I agree.
Well,
another one in the books.
Another one down.
Thanks for joining us for this ramble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's what it was.
It was nice seeing you. As always, stay pretty.
Stay prideful. Especially if you're black.
You can't finesse. Bitch, I move smart like a motherfucking Tesla. I'm clutching this Glock, do I look like a wrestler? Get put on your back, tryna act like a flexer. Hold on, wait, this Glock take 'em out like a date. She give me the pussy, I just want the face. Fuck her real good, put the bitch in her place. I'm high in the bitch, but my mind up in space.